Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Media Files. So today, hit the local mom and pop store like I usually like to do about every week on my way home from work on Fridays because, well, they usually get some pretty good stuff in, or sometimes I just decide to go in there and see what they've got. Well, let's just say I walked out there with a nice handful of awesome old school stuff. Starring, one of my favorite actors, obviously, as most of you know, John Wayne. But I do also enjoy some other old school actresses, mainly, for example, what can we say? She's a dame. She was pretty hot for her time. She's still pretty cool if you like old school movies. I'm talking about legendary actress Bette Davis. Yeah. So we're going to go through and see what all old school stuff we got this time. Today, right here on the Media Files. Welcome back. So first up we have John Wayne film that I definitely do not have. And it sounded interesting to add to my John Wayne collection. Obviously, I'm trying to get as close as to a complete filmography of his as I can. Now, I know some of his movies are not even available, period. But for what is available, hey, there we go. All right, so for John Wayne's film, we've got Hunted Gold. Yeah, I've never seen this. This was definitely very early on in his career. 1932, so this was very early on. And I've never seen it, and so, hey, why not? So there we go. Alrighty, then, well, shall I say, another, famous actor, shall we say, that I've really enjoyed. Well, let's just say the only reason why I know of him is because he basically was one of the actors in Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, the guy who's the old man, basically. Lawrence Tinnery, who, of course, if you know him from TV, he played the character of Elaine's dad in one of the Seinfeld episodes. But I did not know this, that apparently he was one of the first actors to portray legendary crime gangster John Dillinger. And, well, let's just say I found, basically, I think this is his debut film. We have the 1945 edition of Dillinger. Yeah, of course, this would get remade in 1973 by, what's his name? Can I remember what his name is? By John Milius and his version. Then, of course, we would get later on Public Enemies starring Johnny Depp, of course, as John Dillinger. So, yeah, there we go. And if you hear rattling, that's my dog. She's currently eating and drinking at the moment. Aren't you, baby girl? Yep. Anyways, speaking of girls, I guess that would be a nice little segue into basically two of my favorite old school actresses. Like I said, Bette Davis. But there's another one, and I only have like one of her films, but it's one of my absolute favorites. If you have seen the movie Sorry, Wrong Number, I definitely highly recommend checking that out. But this one is definitely an old school Western. It's one of her most well-known movies. So here we have actress Barbara Stanwyck in Annie Oakley. Yeah, I've never seen this, but I've heard it's really good, and it just looks awesome. I think it's directed by George Stevens. He's one of the 5 directors who came back from World War II and directed several movies, which of course includes John Ford and other directors. I can't remember what some more, but anyways, but yeah, so. Looks like a fun movie. All right, and now let's get into the pile that is Bette Davis. So first off, now most of these movies, pretty much all these movies, I have never seen. The only reason why I know they all star Bette Davis is because, well, she's on the front cover of all of them. So first off, we've got also co-starring Claude Rains, one of my other favorite actors, the Invisible Man. By the way, we've got Mr. Skeffington. I've never heard of this. I thought it was like some cheesy ripoff thing, but what can we say? It's loaded with extras too. That's something I forgot to do actually. Let's back up here a little bit. Haunted Gold, nothing. Okay, Dillinger, we have a commentary by John Milius, who's the director of the 1973 film, with audio interview excerpts of screenwriter Philip Jordan, theatrical trailer, and subtitles English, French, and Spanish. And then for Annie Oakley, we have a vintage musical short, Main Street Follies, a classic cartoon, Into Your Dance. And then we got subtitles English and French, it looks like. So, yeah. Okay, and now onto Mr. Skeffington. Yeah. So here we have a commentary by director Vincent Sherman. A new featurette, Mr. Skeffington, A Picture of Strength. The theatrical trailer and English and French languages, as well as English, French, and Spanish subtitles. So yeah, there we go. Alrighty, then up next we have, two of probably the best actors of their time. Obviously, Bette Davis. But we also have Miss Joan Crawford in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Yeah, so this is the 2-disc edition. I have never seen this movie. I've heard of it, but I've never actually seen it. What can we say? Nominated for 5 Oscars, and Oscar winner for Best Costume Design. Wow. Okay, so we have, as far as bonus features here go, we've got commentary by Charles Bush and John Epserton, I think that's how you pronounce that. I don't know who those people are, so you got me. Then we have 3 fabulous documentaries profiles of the movie and its 2 immortal stars. We got Betty and June, Blind Ambition, All About Betty, hosted by Jodie Foster, and a film profile, Joan Crawford. Plus, we also have a vintage featurette behind the scenes with Baby Jane, the Andy Williams Show excerpt featuring Bette Davis. I think he was one of the late night comedy hosts, kind of like David Letterman and Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno from that era, but before that. Probably around the time of Johnny Carson, I would say, or probably even before that. Alrighty, and then we have, up next, we've got Bette Davis in The Letter. Yeah, I've never seen this, but sounds interesting. Basically, let's see. Basically, it thrills with sultry tension thanks to Davis and the impeccable cast of atmospheric cinematography and artistry of 3-time Academy Award winner William Wyler. Sweet. Let's see here. Who also was the director for Jezebel and The Little Foxes, which are older films, obviously. Nominated for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Actress, Director, and Supporting Actor. The Letter remains one of most Hollywood's most special deliveries, a peerless example of melodrama as movie art. Interesting. Music by Max Steiner. Sweet. Okay, so bonus features for this film. So here we have recently discovered alternate ending sequence, 2 audio-only bonuses from April 21st of 1941. We have the Lux Radio Theater adaptation starring Bette Davis and Herbert Marshall and James Stevenson. And then we also have the March 6th, 1944 Radio Lux Theater adaptation starring Davis and Marshall, as well as the theatrical trailer and subtitles for English, French, and Spanish. So that's actually pretty cool that you actually have radio versions of this, which is awesome. You don't see that very often. Alrighty, then up next, we've got another, obviously, film. We have Bette Davis starring in The Star. Yeah, I've never even heard of this, but this is probably earlier on in her career, I believe. maybe later on. I don't know. 1952. So, um, let's see. So, movie queen Margaret Elliott's popularity and fortune have gone bad, but she sure can jumpstart her dimming career. One good picture is all I need, she says, as Margaret Betty Davis got yet another good picture and earned her ninth Academy Award nomination. Wow. Um, Interesting. Very, very interesting. Like I said, I've never actually seen any of these movies, obviously. But oh wow, also starring co-starring Natalie Wood. Awesome. Okay, so as far as bonus features go, so we have a new featurette, How Real is the Star? The theatrical trailer and subtitles featuring English, French, and Spanish. So there we go. And then, well, we have up next, we got Betty Davis and Henry Fonda in Jezebel. Yeah, as I had mentioned earlier. Basically, this was basically kind of around, this was released right around the time of Gone with the Wind. Basically, this performance basically got her to win her Oscar, basically, in 1938. Basically, a New Orleans beauty named Julie, whose constant attempts to goad fiance Press Dillard, played by Henry Fonda, to jealousy backfire. Angry and disgraced, Press breaks their engagement and leaves town. Julie endures a year of remorse until Press comes home, married. And then her vengeance explodes. Interesting. Directed, of course, once again by William Wyler. He's one of the greatest old school directors. Of course, we got Henry Fonda in there, of course, as well. And also co-written by another legendary director, John Huston. Yeah. So, bonus features. So, we got a new digital transfer from restored picture and audio elements. Commentary by film historian Janine Basinger. New featurette, Jezebel, Legend of the South. A vintage musical short. Melody Masters, Jimmy Dorsey and his orchestra. And a classic cartoon, The Mice Will Play. Okay. There's also a theatrical trailer and, of course, subtitles for English, French, and Spanish. And let's see here. Then up next, we have, I believe, a documentary here. We have Stardust, the Betty Davis story. Let's see here. Narrated by Susan Sarandon. Sweet. Shall we say, this sounds interesting. So we will see what this documentary is all about. Yeah, cool. Not bad. 88 minutes. That's a decent time for a documentary. All right. So then up next, we've got another Betty Davis film. Obviously, that's pretty much what the rest of this is going to be. So here we have Old Acquaintance, which is basically when did this come out? 1943. So this is still around this was released around the time, of course, of World War II. Basically, is here. So writer Kit Marlowe, played by Betty Davis, possesses one thing all her own: literary acclaim. But the rest of her life is lived secondhand. Her melodramatic best friend Millie, played by Miriam Hopkins. I wonder if Anthony Hopkins is related to her. I wonder if that's either his mom or his grandmother. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I'd say probably mom, maybe. Who pins trashy pot boilers, has the husband Kit, loves the child Kit yearns on recall. Yet through 20 years of friendship, Kit keeps her claws sheathed as Millie smashes crockery and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyways, it sounds like it's a comedy, basically, of two girls liking a guy, basically, is what it sounds like. Let's hear. Oh, okay. So this movie was remade in 1981, titled as Rich and Famous. So, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check this one out. Awesome. Okay, let's hear that small pile's about to fall, so let's fix that real quick. Okay, all right, so then up next, we have a movie, obviously Bette Davis, but co-stars, you know, Rick himself, Humphrey Bogart. We've got Marked Woman. Yeah. Has a few bonus features on here. So did I actually read the bonus features on Old Acquaintance? No, I didn't. I did not. Let's go back. Good lord. So we have commentary by director Vincent Sherman and Betty Davis speaks author Bose Hadley. New featurette Old Acquaintance, a classic woman's picture. Vintage short stars on horseback. Classic cartoon Finn and Caddy, I believe. I don't know. Probably in Melody's cartoon. I don't know. Theatrical trailer, languages, English and French, and subtitles French and Spanish. Okay, no English. Well, you can make that easy. Alrighty. So Marked Woman. Basically, let's see here. Okay, so basically, no one rats on mobster Johnny Vanning. That's a message delivered to every would-be stoolie who, when Vanning's henchmen snatch a gangling insignia on Mary Dwight's face. I'm assuming Mary Davis is, of course, or Mary Dwight is played by Betty Davis. Anyways, so the real life saga of prostitutes whose testimony put Lucky Lusano behind bars inspired Marked Woman. Betty Davis sinking her claws into the role that marked her return to Hollywood after her legal fight for better projects. Plays Courageous Mary in a rare 1930s good guy turn. Humphrey Bogart co-stars as a crusading prosecutor and versatile Lloyd Bacon of 42nd Street. And Coot Rock, All-American, directs this most unusual Depression era of gangster films, centered not on the crime lord or the DA, but on the women victimized by the mob. Interesting. I'm wondering if Lloyd Bacon is somehow connected to Kevin Bacon, maybe, because you're starting to see some of these names in some of these movies, and you're like, huh. I wonder if these are, from generations of famous actors from before or directors. So, okay, now finally, the last film we have here. Betty Davis film, looks like a comedy. Also co-starring Ann Sheridan and Monty Wally. We have The Man Who Came to Dinner. Okay, basically, so I did not read the bonus features. Good lord, it's been a long day. Anyways, new featurette, Marked Woman, ripped from the headlines, 2 classic cartoons, Porky's Hero Agency, and She Was an Acrobat's Daughter, and a theatrical trailer, subtitles French, English, and Spanish. Yeah, French, English, Spanish subtitles, that's pretty much normal. Alrighty, and finally, back to this movie. So basically, it looks like this movie is basically about a person who is kind of like a czar, kind of, and from what I can understand out of it, but interesting. Marco, so it looks like Harpo Marx actually makes a small role in this movie as well. Cool. Okay, so bonus features. So here we have a new featurette, The Man Who Came to Dinner, inside a classic comedy. Vintage Joe McDoakes, a comedy short. So You Think You Need Glasses, the theatrical trailer, and a classic cartoon, 6 hits and a miss. Okay. So you're from a stage play by George S. Kaufman and directed by William Niley. Interesting. So yeah, like I said, most of these, actors or directors that you know of today, you wonder if these are their descendants. So interesting. Anyways, so yeah. I mean, what can I say? If you love old school movies, I mean, I think almost all of these are actually Warner Brother movies, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think they all are actually. Yeah, that's funny. Literally, everything here is all Warner Brothers. So yeah, look at that there. Some old school. Look at that stack right there. Yeah, all of that basically for about about $20, which isn't bad at all. So yeah, I mean, if you love old school movies, definitely have to give those a check out. Especially when the majority of them are all, starring one major hot actress from the 30s and 40s at the time. But yeah, so I'm gonna look forward to sitting down and watching some old school stuff. I love old school stuff, and it's sometimes it's better, in my opinion, just to watch something, even though it may be old. You just don't know if you're gonna like the story. That's how I view older movies from the past. And so yeah, so with that, you guys don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, leave a comment down below, and with that, I'll see you guys later.